All right, guys, I'm getting back on the Xr200. Know a few of you have been asking me what's going on with that bike. I'm doing the rear disc brake conversion. And you can see I was going to convert the rear wheel that I had to a disc, but I kind of changed my mind. I had this Xr250 frame sitting behind my house forever, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna swap this rear wheel onto the KX frame. It has the silver rim I'm looking for, and it basically fits my front KTM wheel much better. So I think it'll have the look I'm going for. The rear sprocket, as you can see, I marked, is 51 teeth. I believe this bike had like a 48 or 49 or something like that. So I have a little more low end. Hopefully I have enough adjustment that I could get the chain on it, not have to add a link or anything like that. But I'm gonna take this wheel off. I'll switch the bikes. I'll put the XR up on the motorcycle stand, and I'll see if I can get it fitted on. All right, guys, first order of operation. I'm gonna use, largest socket I have is actually 1/16 in American. I do have metric, but they're much too big. I start at 29 millimeters. But anyway, the 1/16 actually fits this nut perfect. Mine was very loose already. I just lubed it up a little bit. Just gonna pull this off and then pull the wheel off. All right, guys, I got the wheel semi-fitted in place. First problem I run into, and I had an idea this was gonna be a problem. The axle is much larger on the KX. If you look at the back of the XR swing arm, it has this little like nipple that pops up. So I'm not gonna try to grind the bottom. I'm gonna take the grinder and just try to take a little bit off the top until I get the axle to fit. All right, so I just took a blue Sharpie, kind of used it like a Prussian blue the machinists use. This is all I have at the moment. Had a nice paint pen, but it just died on me. I'm gonna take my caliper and I'll measure the axle and just add like a couple 1/16 of an inch to the measurement. And then I'll scribe it as best I can on here, and I'll see if I could just cut it or slice a little piece off with the grinder like this. I'm using a cutting disc just because I think I'll be able to get it more straight than just sitting here forever with the grinder. But I'll see once I take my measurements how much I need to take off, and then we'll decide. All right, guys, so I came up with 793 thousandths. Like I said, this doesn't have to be that accurate. I'm gonna now take the backside of the caliper and put it down in the bottom so it rests on here. And then obviously I'm gonna have to do this off camera. I'm gonna scribe a line straight across. It ends up being very, very tiny amount that needs to come off, but I'll probably still try with the cutting disc and we'll see how it goes. All right, that was a piece of cake, guys. Looks pretty good. Might just hit the inside here with the Dremel real quick, but got it almost perfect, and the axle slides in just the way I want. All right, the next two obstacles are going to be the brake stay, I guess you call this. And I'm not sure what the hell this thing is, but that's got to go. The tire is hitting right into it. The only way that this mod is working, guys, just so you know, the KX250 wheel is a lot bigger. It's fitting in here because my swing arm is lengthened 2 inches, as you could see. And when I do the full restoration on this bike, once it's done, I'm going to weld sheet metal over this and blend the swing arm because I want to be able to put the ProLink sticker back on the side and just make it look nice, you know. Anyway, this I'm going to have to slice off. I'm going to save this little chunk. I'm thinking if I make a bracket, I could come up from right here and then catch right into the caliper mount. But we'll see how it goes from here. All right, the tire's looking great, guys. I got the chain on. The alignment's looking almost perfect. Just barely clears the tire, but that's all we need. Have the caliper just up in the air right now. Ironically, the little tab down there sits flush on the bottom, but it doesn't do us any good. So I might just machine up a new little block of steel that fits in there, and I'll weld it right onto here, sticking out like this. If I come around to this side, would help you guys out. So the piece of steel has to go in this channel. When this sits down like that, it has to be able to slide and obviously hold the caliper in place when you either give the brake or let off the gas or whatever. This right now I have maxed out on the adjustment. It'll probably come back somewhere around here. And as you can see, this caliper needs to slide according to you know, how you tension the chain. So what I'm gonna do is just measure this, make up a piece of steel a little longer, and have it just get welded onto here on the side and sticking out into there, and it just clears the caliper, which I marked here because I thought I was gonna have to grind some off, but once I get that level, which is right about there, you can see it clears beautifully. All right, so now I have to drill out the adjusters for the chain. I mounted them in my vise on the big Bridgeport, as you can see, and these things are kind of hard to hold. Otherwise, I would just hold them in this vise and drill them with the Bridgeport itself, which would be a lot easier, but just doing something quick. I got a big drill bit on here, just gonna drill them by hand. All right, guys, so we're finishing up the conversion here. I unfortunately got locked out of my iPhone for 7 days, which was fun. But just gonna give you a quick walkthrough and hopefully you guys could piece it together. I tend to find no one makes it to this part of the video anyway, so we should be good. I got this bracket is pretty much the most important part of the video right here. You can see I got it welded in, and that's just the slider. So when you adjust the chain, the brake bracket will slide back and you'll still have the rear brakes. I got the brake line in place. I got this cable holder here. I didn't attach it yet. I just have it kind of zip tied for a test ride. But I think I'm gonna put the two from the KX. I'll just screw and tap them right into the top, and I'll lay this up on the top of the swing arm like that. Master cylinder mounted, as you saw before. I got this welded on, little spring here. I'm just gonna change this clip position when I paint the frame. That's done. A beautiful action on the brake. And the only other thing I had to do is make up this steel bushing. It's just about 1 inch in width, but you guys obviously measure it as you go.